Hi guys, it's Raven here. Today is Wednesday, November 25th, 2020. It is almost 9:30 p.m. Now normally I don't make videos late at night, but I'm gonna make one just um over the holiday tomorrow. Uh, my aunt paid me a visit this past Saturday, I think it was. Yeah, it was Saturday. She comes over, she drops me off in a food box, and one of the things I liked about the box was that there was 5 bags of hard-boiled eggs. I thought initially, I thought there was only 3, but I didn't see her put in extra, bags in the fridge. My landlord noticed that today because I asked her, when she took me to the store, I told her about the bags of hard-boiled eggs I had, and I admitted to her, I said, I don't know how to make deviled eggs. So I asked her if I gave her all the materials because I thought the things needed to do it all. The hard boiled eggs was already done. So I asked her if she could make deviled eggs for me because normally a Thanksgiving dinner item. It would have been one of the only things I was missing besides the beef. But I have everything else. I got my turkey, I got my stuffed dressing, got my mashed potatoes, got my gravy, got my pumpkin pie. Um, I did all this, because with the COVID situation going on, my aunt, invited me to go over for Thanksgiving dinner, but I declined that invitation, and my dad couldn't understand why. Because I know if my mom were alive, she would be trying to tell me to go over, but my mom isn't here anymore, and that's kind of the one of the reasons why I don't want to go over tomorrow because that'll be on my mind and just too emotional. Um, And so when I explained to my dad, I said, it's going to be too much of a reminder about my mom. And he understood. And besides that, I haven't been around my aunt a whole lot since this whole thing started. I'm in my own little bubble. The living room, the kitchen, uh, bathroom. You know, I enjoy my little space, and I don't want to contaminate it in any way. Um, when my aunt was here on Saturday, I think again I'm still a little screwy on that one. Um, she was here for like maybe 3 or 4 minutes and out the door. She only lives right across the street. I'm not around my aunt a lot, and I probably would have to wear a mask because when you're uh in the presence of someone that you're not around a whole lot, um, you're you could be exposing yourself, and it's not a risk I want to take. Let's see. This past Sunday, the 22nd, made it 1 month since the last time I talked to my mom. And the reason why I remember the date, October 22nd, was because that was the day that I got my COVID test done. Came back negative. Fortunate for that. How that came about was I had some some symptoms that were qualified to get tested. Because I got a phone call. It was a follow up because back in July, um, I made a phone call inquiring about how can I go about, getting a test done. And they said, well, not, at the time, not everybody could be tested. Okay. But they said, we'll call, give us your name and number, and we'll call you back in a couple of months. I did that. So last month, out of the blue, I get a phone call. And they were asking me how I was doing and everything. And I said, well, I got this and I got that. But overall, I'm fine. And so they said, well, you need to go get tested. I was like, "Are you sure now?" Because I don't think I don't think it's that serious, sir. You need to go get tested. You would be doing the responsible thing. Okay, I don't do that. Came back negative. But when I went there to get the test done, um, even the nurse knew. She said, "I don't really think you need this test done." And so she's like, "Okay, let me ask you some questions. How is your eyesight?" Well, I got glasses and I'm still fine. How's your sense of taste? Okay, fine. No problem there. What about your sense of smell? I said, well, I've had a smelling issue for the last 15 years. Um, I've always had trouble with the sense of smell, and I'm not kidding you when I tell you this. I actually have uh, issues with the sense of smell. So she said, well, on that account, I'll go ahead and give you a test because they were saying that, lack of the sense of smell could be a symptom. But go and get tested. Now, the way they did that, well, they couldn't do a nasal swab because my nose was too clogged up at that time. So what they did was they run a swab on my tongue, run it back and forth. But let's before you do that, I need a drink of water. But my tongue's dry. Oh, okay. So they give me a cup of water because you're not going to get much saliva off of the tongue when it's dry. So then I go and have the test done. Then I call my mom. We didn't talk very long. I just let her know that it came back negative, and that would have been the last time I talked to my mom. So, and little did I know that that was going to be the last time because she passed away on November 1st, 24 days ago. And I miss her every day. Um, Starting to come to terms with it. Um, I don't think you ever get over losing a parent. I was honest with my aunt. I said, um, I probably wouldn't be as emotional if it was my dad as compared to my mom because I've been around my mom a lot more in my life than I have my dad because my dad had issues uh, mentally, physically, and legally. It was more of his not wanting to stay out of trouble. That's why I sort of distanced myself from him with that. Because every time he's gone to jail, he would say, "Oh, I'm gonna, get better. I'm gonna stop drinking. I'm gonna stop doing the drugs. I'm gonna." I've heard that promise so many times. It's not even funny. Um, so I can't ever, believe him. Um, but then I've also grown up seeing him do the things he did to my mom that no child should ever have to witness. And I've seen your father beat up on your mother dozens of times. I've seen it. My dad had this perception that it was okay for a man to hit a woman anytime. That is never okay. It's not something I could just push aside, Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love my dad. But there's no question about that. But the closeness that we had at one time, that bridge is burned. We will never ever have a close father and son relationship that we once had. That bridge is burned. I can't look at him and not think about the things that he's put my mom through. No, I haven't seen my dad since 2017, 3 years, which is also about the same time since I last seen my mom. So, because I moved to Florida, I was down there for a year, and then I moved up here in Ohio. Um, the the idea of moving here to Ohio was not meant to be permanent, even though I've been here for 2 years now. Um, well, 2 years and 2 months, almost three, and it's still not meant. But I still have intentions on going back to Florida. That's where I want to be, especially in the wintertime, because me having cerebral palsy, the cold weather is not good for my leg. So I have to deal with that. Uh, so eventually, that's my goal, is to eventually go back to Florida. But in the meantime, I'm gonna just wait this pandemic out, so that way when the pandemic is over, I don't have to worry about uh, what could you know you know worry. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that could go wrong, but when it's over, I don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to get it because I'm close to this person? Uh, Now, I told my dad I wouldn't mind living with him, but as far as having the, close relationship, that's how. But then again, I don't know if I could even live with my dad because of the fact that he admitted to me not long ago that he still likes smoking weed. And I told him, I said, well, when you come visit me, he wants to visit me, and I told him he could, but he's going to smoke outside because there is not going to be any smoking in this house, period. So I don't even like the smell of smoke. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling him that you have to do it outside because he's out in the fresh air, and I don't know if that could fully stop him from smelling like smoke, but at least it'll decrease the chances of it, of you know being affected. With him coming in here smelling like smoke. I don't want to smell that. I don't even like the smell of it. So, I've never been a smoker in my life. I did take one drag when I was about 14 years old, but then I didn't like it. But I could see why it was addictive. Then when my mom's dad passed away, um, that was all the motivation I need right there. Smoking, that's something I ever want to do. Drinking, I never ruled that out. But the last time I had real serious alcoholic drink was back in October of 2007 when I was in Seattle and I visited the Space Needle and I had a lemon drop martini. That's what and a big fancy, steak dinner. I mean, because to me, this was like a once in a lifetime meal. Because I don't know if I would ever get the opportunity to ever eat there again. So, though while being there, money was tight, but that was an opportunity I just couldn't pass up on. 2007, and I don't need it. I don't need to drink. I don't need to smoke. To feel good. You're gonna have to. I mean, I take my medications that help me sleep at night. The fact that I take a narcotic, um, I'm taking it for a legitimate reason. There are people who like to take a narcotic because it makes them feel good, and that's really not a legitimate reason to be taking it. I mean, there are people out there who use it, who really don't legitimately need it. They just use it, to abuse the Medicare system, and that's what's wrong with people today. They find ways to play the system. Um, So, anyway, I wanted to make this video. What I'm going to do instead, instead of just outright declining to go over my aunt, I will offer her, a chance to do a meeting on Zoom and show that, I have all the foods that I need, that there's really no need for me to go over. And besides, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite days of the year where I go watch football all day long. Well, it's something I've been doing ever since I was a kid. When I had my first color TV in '89, that most kids at my age at that time aren't allowed to have TVs. But the reason why I was able to have one was because I had those Nintendo games, Nintendo Entertainment System. Remember there was, where you had to blow in it just to get the game to work before you stick it in the console. Those were the days. But that's the reason why I had a color TV. I was able to get cable and everything, and I remember watching the election of '92, which was the first time I ever watched an election. Speaking of election, we just had one, and I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm glad Biden won. I'm going to be honest. That was, I didn't vote. I did not vote, and the reason why I did not vote was because, I know I shouldn't have to explain myself, but the reason why I didn't vote was because if this presidency doesn't work out, then people can't look at me and say, well, you voted for this guy, so you're part of the problem. Because if you look at all what Trump has done, there is mismanagement, mishandling of the pandemic, and completely lying about this and that. I feel like I was part of the problem because I voted for him in 2016. I have no problems admitting that, but I decided to sit this one out. But this was the first election since 1996 that I haven't voted. And the only reason why I didn't vote in 1996 because I wasn't even legally old enough yet. That was the reason why. So when you take the last 3 elections that I didn't vote, 2020, 96, 1992. Of course, those 96 and 92 is because I wasn't legally old enough. Each of those elections was won by a Democrat. Now that I noticed that before I even made my decision not to vote, I was thinking about this the last time I didn't vote. Who won, which was Bill Clinton. And as far as '96, the reason why I wasn't able to watch out, I was living with my aunt, my dad's sister, who had since passed away. I was living with her, and I think it's when Bill Clinton was going against Bob Dole. Although Clinton was going against Bush in '92, so before Trump, Bush was the last one-term president. Some people on Facebook had thought that Carter was the last one-term president. I corrected them on that. I said, nope. Bush 41. That's the last one-term president. And when I pointed that out, a friend said, thank you so much for pointing. I totally forgot about that. So, the last 2 one-term presidents are Republicans. So, I definitely wasn't old enough to vote for Bush in '88. when I was born, Carter was in office. So, but he was a one-term president. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. It's a little over 20 minutes. I meant to make this short as possible, but man, I'm rambling on. It's kind of why I've been lacking making videos, because it's like, do you guys even want to hear my dribble? Oh, I'll see you in the next video.